He looks me dead in the eye and says, "I decide when you leave." No smile, no blink. Just that line, flat. I'm holding my resignation letter like a shield. I came in ready to be polite. Short, clear, 2 weeks and I'm out. He folds his arms and adds, "Not a word to anyone until I approve it." Approve it? I wasn't asking for permission. I was informing him, but I froze. I hear myself say, "Okay." And I walk out, wondering how that just happened. I'm mid-level ops in a team of 4, small team, big mess. The seniors live in slides and status calls. They love the word strategy. Me, I'm the 2 a.m. person, firewalls, VPN tunnels, crusty scripts with no owner. I keep tickets moving and outages small. And yeah, I learned a lot. There's a rush when the graph goes from red back to green because of you. But rent doesn't care about exposure. My workload ballooned. Title and pay didn't. I asked for a path. I got visibility and stretch, not balance. So I looked around, quietly. A recruiter said ownership and training budget, and a number that made me sit up. Interviews felt human. Technical, but not a hazing ritual. People listened. They explained. No traps. By the end, I knew I could breathe there. I could grow there. I could sleep there. So I did the adult thing. Printed my letter. 2 weeks' notice. Happy to document. Palms sweaty. Heart loud. Ready. He skims it like a grocery receipt and hits me with, "I decide when you leave, not a word." Back at my desk, Slack pings for a test VLAN. Routine. Normal. Except the room feels tilted. He can't actually stop me, right? HR exists. The contract exists. But authority has weight. It changes how you stand. So I make a decision. Follow his rule. Exactly. No more, no less. Silence. I tell nobody, not a soul. If someone asks about my weekend, I say coffee or laundry. I keep my head down and write readmes for firewall objects, NAT rules, the brittle VPN that panics during rekeys, cron jobs living on a box called utility old. Of course it is. Where things are, why they break, how to calm them down. I put everything where it already lives, same drive, same paths. I do my job and obey his rule, silence. Day 1 of notice turns into day 10. He never approves anything. He stays performative. In meetings, he drops my name to prove he is on top of capacity. In private, he nitpicks. Like always, every time I try to talk timing, he waves me off. "We'll discuss your letter." We never do. Final morning. A shirt that feels like armor. I clear personal files, check in the last docs, run a final backup of the touchiest configs. Calm. The kind of calm that sits on top of a small earthquake. At 4 p.m., he calls me into a conference room. Door clicks shut. He smiles like he is doing me a favor. "So," he says, bright, "your last day is in 2 months, peak quarter. We can't allow you to go. I decide when you leave. Next week, you'll build a handover deck." I slide a paper across, my contract. I've read Section 9 3 times at 2 a.m. My contract ends today. Automatic termination. No extension unless both parties agree in writing 7 days prior. We didn't. He blinks, looks at the date. Today. The bold text. His face shifts, the mask slips. "That's not. We were going to. You should have told me." I hold his stare. "You told me not to." Spin cycle time, first authority. You can't just walk out. Then guilt. The team depends on you. Then anger. This is unprofessional. I keep breathing. I point to the docs. I list the folders and paths. I say it clearly. I already gave 2 weeks. I worked them. Today is the end. He calls HR. HR calls the director. A meeting appears. We sit in a room that smells like dry erase markers and old coffee. The director's voice is even. Walk me through what happened. So I do. Simple. I handed in notice. Was told to keep silent. I complied. Today is the contractual end. Keys on the desk by 5. My manager tries the narrative flip. She blindsided the team. No handover. Reckless. He gestures like the air owes him something. The director looks at me. Did you hand over? I documented more than I received when I started. Firewall, VPN, cron jobs. It's all there. I offered help during notice. He told me not to tell anyone. Silence. 1 beat, 2. The director reads section 9. The room settles. He nods once, small, certain. Turns to my manager. Why did you prevent communication? My manager's mouth opens, closes. I needed control of the messaging. The director asks, do you have that control now? No answer. He doesn't raise his voice. He talks about trust, risk, retention. Then he looks at me. We appreciate your work. Return your equipment. HR will process the end date as today. I nod, say thanks. No gloating. My shoulders drop a little. Logging out for the last time feels strange. Heart loud again. The office smells like stale coffee and carpet cleaner. I set my badge next to the laptop. I walk past the server rack that has been my quiet mountain. I press my palm to the door. A private goodbye, not dramatic, just thanks. A week later, a friend pings me. They hired a contractor, triple my salary. Tickets still pile, SLAs slip. The brittle VPN cracks during a rekey. I am not there to baby it. I don't cheer. I don't want them to fail. I just feel distant. Like watching a ship I once patched take on water. It's not satisfaction. It's confirmation. The system was the problem, not me. At the new job, week 1 feels unreal. Onboarding is a plan, checklists, shadowing, diagrams that match reality, a training budget that isn't a myth. People share context without making you beg. When a deploy hiccups, there is no scapegoat. We trace it, we fix it, we write it down, we move on. I start sleeping, real sleep. Evenings have shape again, light, on the kitchen counter. A book I read because I want to. Sometimes I replay that conference room. Him saying 2 months, me sliding the paper, the beat of silence. It isn't revenge I replay. It's relief. Relief that I wasn't imagining the squeeze. Relief that following his rule, silence, became my shield when I needed it. Relief that plain words on a page could hold, even when someone tried to twist process into power. Walking out didn't feel like a cliff. It felt like ground, solid, quiet. No applause, no big speech. Just ground under my feet, and the next step forward. I breathe, I keep walking, and the echo of that office starts to fade into a reminder of what I will never accept again. That's my story. If your boss ever said, I decide when you leave, what would you do? Would you stay silent or would you push back?